Okay, Lady Ada, this hangout is on air live. What is this?
Welcome to another hangout where we're going to do some showing and telling. It's our weekly show and tell. We do this every single week at 7:30 p.m. It's me and pretty good video, and all of you guys in pretty good video, and we show up and we show off projects, retro tech, maker spaces, hacker spaces, old issues of popular science, pretty much anything that's cool. Like we're pretty much into it. Show off demos, show off stuff. We'll call on you in the order that you are in the little boxes below us. So until you're called on, just mute your mic and be ready to demo your project. And when we call on you, unmute your mic and take 3 minutes to show off what you're building. That way we have time for everybody. We're going to start off with Noah and Pedro. No, Tony.
Actually we're going with Tony.
Tony, sorry. What did I say?
That was a test. That was a test to see if the audience is paying attention. Tony, welcome.
Yeah, hey. So I've got a couple of quick things to show. One thing is the Pi Be Gone that someone discovered last week. If you flash a xenon camera flash or maybe even certain lasers at a Raspberry Pi Model 2, the new one that's faster, it will lock up, it'll stop working. And I'll demonstrate. So I've got, this is the Pi Be Gone. It's just a little Canon Speedlight camera used with like a DSLR. And let me switch to a different camera here. So I've got a project set up here. On the left here, this is the Model 1 Raspberry Pi, and on the right is a Model 2 or a Pi 2. And here comes the cat. Okay, there we go.
Is the cat defending? I mean, the cat's pretty big. If the cat is in between, that could act as a patch.
We'll see what happens here, I guess. So I've got an LED blinking, and it's synchronized through the time on both the devices. And so let's hit it with the flash here, and we'll see what happens. So we'll go. Oh, now you see only the left one's blinking. So that's basically the Model 1 Raspberry Pi. And the second one, the Model 2 Raspberry Pi, it's obviously doing nothing. So I just had a little Python script running. So it's kind of interesting. Originally, I'd hooked up the oscilloscope to the power lines on the Raspberry Pi to see is there like some kind of a surge that's happening. And you do see a big surge, but I realized that it's probably the EMF from the flash itself because it's got a big capacitor and stuff like that in here. So it's difficult for me to measure this. I don't really have the right equipment to shield it from the EMF. But the one thing that does happen, if you put the Pi 2 inside of a box and you shield it from the light, but you still have the device nearby so the EMF still hits it, it's fine. It doesn't lock up. So there's definitely something going on with the light. And I think from the forums, people had said some of the voltage regulators or real small chips that they changed are kind of the open package where you've just got the bare silicone die top. So it's kind of interesting just to see what happens here. So don't hit your Raspberry Pi with a flash.
Okay. Thanks, Tony.
So cool, yeah, that's it.
All right, next up is Noah and Pedro.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, guys. Happy Wednesday. Pedro, what do you got for us? All right, let's switch cameras. Do a little sneak peek of next week's project. What is this? Oh, we got some Semiflex, NinjaFlex on this. Cool handle here. Wonder what this will be for. I think we might have seen previews, but yeah, I think people know what it is, Pedro. It's pretty iconic.
A weapon of some sort.
A weapon of some sort. Printing guns is bad, but unless it's like...
Unless it's a gun sword.
Or, yeah, for props. Yeah. I'm also working on a cool... I showed this last week. This time it's in pink. Working on a guide for that and a lovely video. So we'll be making this in the coming weeks, which is a really fun DIY Bluetooth custom gamepad thing. So yeah.
So I like how you guys are like starting to make your own custom like buttons using the different flexible filaments and the semi-flex filaments. It's interesting to see you guys combine like normal filament and then like flexible semi-flex or NinjaFlex to like have a handle grip or like a chain or whatever, some additions. It's kind of interesting to see all these different combo materials.
Exactly. We think this year there's a lot of different materials to play with, so it's really fun.
What's your favorite new material?
I'd say Semiflex, right? Semiflex definitely, yeah. To get the more higher, half the flex with more rigidity.
Okay. No, because the NinjaFlex is a little wobbly. Okay, thank you so much, guys, and don't forget to watch Noah and Pedro's show tomorrow, Thursday at 3 p.m. It's the Hangouts.
Yay!
Yay!
All right.
Next up, Phil B.
Phil.
Paint your dragon.
Yay!
Father of the NeoPixel library. I've been doing all this research recently about just different people. So there's this guy named Giovanni Arduino. He's known as the father of Italian geology. And then there's another person, the father of the modern blood bank. You are father of the NeoPixel library.
Okay, I don't know if that's an honor or a threat.
It's the best thing. Ask any art installation.
Anyway, don't know if you can see the pattern on the wall. I think I showed this before. I'm working with the laser XY projector. We've been evaluating these kind of relatively inexpensive the Galvo mirror systems. Hopefully, we can make a kit that you hook up an Arduino. There's some glue electronics, and it steers the Galvos, and you can paint a picture on the wall. It's been interesting. I think I've melted more hardware with this project than anything else I've done, but I think I've got it figured out now, and going to send you one to play with. For instance, I learned solderless breadboards are made out of fireproof plastic.
Okay, it's a good thing to learn, especially if you're putting 2 amps to them.
I know this firsthand now.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. It looks good, and hopefully we'll see more.
Yeah, we got a picture on the wall. It's stable, and hopefully we can make some cool things. Maybe some little games or a clock or something up on the wall would be kind of cool.
This is good because, like, let's say I don't want to go out to a laser light show for a Pink Floyd concert. Like, now I can just do it at home.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't even think they have those anymore. By the way, they didn't.
They do. No, they do. The local planetarium place still does that.
All right. What do I know? All right. Thank you so much, Phil B.
Okay.
Father of the NeoPixel library. We're going to make it catch on. All right, next up, Aiden.
Hey, so today is more of show and tell how I messed up. But so I think I mentioned a while back I was making a modification for Matthew Borgatti's Glaucus soft robot. And I've got the first iteration of that, so let me just turn my camera around. And yeah, so as you can see, didn't turn out wonderfully. So the original plan was have a mold with a PVA like skeleton on the inside. So then once I poured the silicone and it cured, I would be able to dissolve it out from the inside. But one, the mold leaked, so it didn't fully finish. And two, I can't seem to dissolve it. Like, it's because just takes a long time because it's embedded in this silicone. I've had it in here for like in water for a few days, and basically hasn't dissolved at all. But I have learned a few things. I'm using wax adhesive to seal up the molds now. I'm also using another material for the interior skeleton of it. So as opposed to the PVA, and yeah, hopefully that combination will yield better results.
All right, very
cool. All right, thank you. It's important to also document what didn't work out. This could save somebody else a lot of effort, but yeah, keep going. I think you'll get it working for sure. Like you're dedicated to the softbotics.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Aiden.
I think next up,
Eric.
Eric, how's it going?
Eric William.
Look back.
Mickey.
Hey guys.
Unmute your mic and show us your project.
Nothing quite like the Learjet tonight, a little bit smaller, but I had one of these aero gardens for growing herbs on my counter, and the thing drove me nuts, so I decided to build a better mousetrap. And this is the unit that I made. I took a Coolatron, which is basically a wine cooler for your kitchen countertop, and turned it into a grow device. Took an Arduino and a Nokia 5110 and a real-time clock and soil moisture sensors, and in the back I have it hooked up to the Peltier, which I can heat and cool, and yeah, we can do moisture control, LED lighting in it, fully configurable. It works really, really well. Works a heck of a lot better.
Some nice basil too. Like, this is working quite well.
Yeah,
it works pretty good.
It's neat because the expectation of those little herb garden things is so great, but in reality they're not very good. The idea is inspiring, but the actual thing, like all the way leading up until when you have it, it's, oh man, this would be so cool. It's gonna be like in the future, and I'm just gonna walk by, I'm gonna get some basil, but like it just doesn't work in the
So you have a program in it, like every day it turns on the light at a certain time, and it tries to keep the temperature steady?
Yep, temperature, humidity.
How does it affect the humidity?
I have one of those little ultrasonic foggers that make for countertop fans, and I can introduce raw mist into it, and actually you can simulate dew at night.
Would you be interested in writing this up so other people could make one of these?
Yeah, this is
Absolutely. I was actually going to go commercial with it, and I've changed my mind. I'm giving it away, and I haven't even done videos on my YouTube channel yet. It's been
Okay.
that secret.
Okay. Well, if there's
But
anything Adafruit can do to help you, because I think this would be a really cool thing for people who, if they don't have an idea of why they want to learn electronics, this is a pretty neat one.
This is so cool.
Okay. Well, you get an Ask You on the show
And
tell.
delicious.
You get an Ask You on the show and tell sticker if you want. When you email support@adafruit.com, put attention Phil, because there's one last piece that your Herb Garden thing is missing. Besides the show and tell sticker, if you ever wanted to hook it up to Adafruit.io, our new beta service, you could have it do stuff online, and that is the carrot I'm going to dangle. And you could actually probably grow a carrot in there too. So
I would like that, Phil.
okay,
Thank
so
you,
just
guys.
put attention, Phil, and I'll follow up with you. We're opening up the beta to a very small number of people, but all the sensors that you have, that would be cool if you could publish it up, and that's what we built.
I want to check up
Absolutely.
on Eric's plants.
Okay. No, you
okay.
can put one for each plant and everything. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, Eric. All right, next up.
Who do you want to call next?
Yeah, here you go.
Ekawayu?
Akwayu, welcome back.
Hey, how are you guys?
What you got?
Oh, we got still the same modular robotic. Hello?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
we're
we're here. We're listening.
Okay.
Show us the
robot.
Show us your robots.
Yeah, this is a little robot here. So there. So we have more little robots right now. So you can put it like in a train. So if you guys are here, and you can add a model, and there you go. You have a longer robot right.
Oh, so these you can stagger now off to the sides. Is that the difference between the ones you showed?
Yeah, so instead of stacking up, now you can also stack it to the side.
Ah, that's real.
Oh,
And
that's
did you
great.
think about that in advance, or did this something just came up afterwards, where you're like, oh, we could make these like bridge bots?
So
Did you plan it, or is
yeah,
it?
but for this week, I think some of the sensor came late from the OSA Park, so I didn't have the chance to solder it, but for sure we have the magnet here, so
Yeah.
if I stuck them up, then for sure you can see like there. You have more and more sensors on it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, these are super cool.
Kind of long. I have also the LED modules. So let's say you have 100 LEDs and you stack them up, and you put a battery, and then basically you have your own lightsaber, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I have for this week.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good. I like these little bots. Are you planning on doing more? Is this part of a long series of like, okay, this month we want to have ones that do this month we're going to have ones that do that?
I guess for next week we will have more sensors. So we will have
Okay.
the temperature sensor.
Yeah, show us the temperature
and
sensor next week.
We'll
That'll
show
be
you
good.
another example of we'll show you another example of application other than robotics.
Okay.
Like you can stick temperature sensor, put it on the window, and then you can monitor the temperature
Okay.
every day or every hour.
Adafruit.io can control robots. We're working on a thing, so maybe when you show some of that stuff, maybe I can dispense more beta invites. Whew.
Yeah.
It was like back in the day when Gmail had that invite thing. It was a
Oh,
big deal.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Oh, wow,
now
that was a
everybody
long
has
time
that,
ago. Okay.
Okay.
Next
Hey.
up, Abhishek.
Bye-bye.
Hi.
All right.
Hello.
Show us your
Can you hear
project. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hi. So, just a minute. This is my project. I call it XCell. Stands for Serial Extended Serial. Now it's basically a USB to serial dongle, but it has some unique features. So the first thing you might notice is the LCD screen.
Yeah.
You display. So I connect it to the USB, and if everything works correctly, it's not, it should show a number.
Okay.
This number happens to be exactly the COM number that is allocated to this serial dongle on the computer. So if I open the terminal at 62, COM62, I'll get this this dongle and
That's cool.
not any other. So except for that, it has some other neat features. So let me switch to the desk. So I've got here two of these adapters hooked. So the first one is, let's look at this, it's hooked to an Arduino. So as you can see, it's not only does it have a RS-232 connection, it can also work at logic level. It works at any logic level from 1.65 volt and up to 5.5 volts. So now I have it hooked to an Arduino, and I can just program it. It's now, I think, 3.3 volt. So as you can see, I can program it, and it works. And here I've got just a microcontroller I picked up from a drawer. As you can see, it works in 2.1 volt currently. But here I have a different problem. If I switch to the terminal, you see it's all gibberish. It's because the baud rate is not right. But in fact, I was a little bit too lazy to look through all the data sheet and to understand how to configure the microcontroller exactly to the baud rate I want. But I don't know the exact baud rate. I just want it to work to show something. So what I did here is a feature I called auto baud. When I press this button, it will try to acquire the baud rate to detect baud rate, and I hope you can see the terminal. It's a little small, but now it just corrected the baud rate. The baud rate is correct, and I can see the correct data coming out of it.
Okay, this is cool. This is really nice. I mean, serial is used in everything, but it's always the wrong baud rate, or you don't want COM ports. These are big solutions to common problems. Thank you very much, Avishai.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Email support@adafruit.com and you get as seen on the show and tell sticker. And then we are going to wrap up with C. Scott. I see
some EagleCAD.
I see a bunch of EagleCAD. This you know what this looks like? My living room. This is what I normally walk by and see on Lady Ada's screen.
I don't have this many air wires.
Yeah.
This is like 7,000 air wires.
What do you got going on?
This is the board that I'm wanting to put into the Arduino kit aluminum case. I'm working on various sections after getting the control complement situated. I'm going and filling in blocks of it. Up here's my power supply that does not suck. Now there is no, it's all discrete. The key elements of it are, if I flip to the schematic real quick here and show you like a subset here, there are particular points where you want to decouple the positive and negative feedback of these differential pairs, and it's the true key to a nice stable power supply. But everything else is pretty routine, because you just have you've got your full wave bridge over here, and then you've got your buses that have pass transistors and whatnot. But let me see, I need to find me. Hello, go back to me for a second. There I am. The other key is the nice toroid power transformer. This one is made by. This is a circuit board mount one. It has 8 sets of pins, but you'll notice that it has this socket cap mounting hole that goes through the middle, because this is massive enough. You don't want to trust the solder joints to hold this to your board. You have to actually anchor this to the board, because this is like a shot put in weight.
Yeah. No, that's like solid copper and iron.
But yeah, it's all encapsulated, and all you do is you just drop it in, bolt it down, solder it. But that won't be on the board. I'm actually developing that board to do the use 2 wall warts right now, because I just want to get it to work first. I'll worry about the finesse of the AC end of the power supply later, but it's crucial that I have a full wave bridge and not half wave. Anyway, moving on here. People were clamoring for me to make a through-hole version of my Revision 2.2 voice card, so yeah, sure, here. So I adapted. You've seen the surface mount version of this one in action. This is the same thing, just with through-hole parts, except for a few capacitors. where else am I showing here? The this guy. Adding USB to the I didn't do that. Adding USB to the little Arduino shield. I have no clue how to write the USB code yet, but I'll get around to that. I've been reading the USB library, but I want to switch gears slightly and go back in time to when Radio Shack was the coolest place on earth. Because I grew up with, you walked in and you could, buy any one of 50 different project kits, and parts were just lined the walls. You could do anything there. I got my first 555 there in 1977. I got my first solderless breadboard there about the same time. But the first PC board I ever etched, I did with the stuff you could buy at Radio Shack. You could buy a bottle of copper sulfate, and you got a little photography developer tray, and you exposed this board. If it, I don't know if it's on the screen, but my screen is being occluded.
Yeah. It's like this red wire board.
Yeah, this, you can see, it's very dusty. This is the first PC board I ever etched, and I'll unbolt it and show you the other side like next week. But this, I photocopied these out. I think it came from Radio Electronics. It was like a low-speed modem project. This is the modem right here. This 14412 chip from Motorola. The rest of it is just passband filters for the answer and originate frequency shift keying. But I etched this in my parents' kitchen, and for the first year of university, this was my modem, but I didn't have anything automatic with it. I had it in a box with a power supply. You would, and back then my dorm room had a rotary phone, so you dial the university telecomputing number. At least we had one. When you got the carrier tone, you had to quickly flip your switches to first you connect, and then you hit the switch that enabled the modem to sense the carrier tone, and then when you got a little LED to light up, you could hang up the phone and you were in. But I decided that, by the end of the second semester doing that, I got tired, so I made my first taped out board with the modem attached to it. This chip is the RCA 1802. This was the Arduino of the 70s. The cool thing about it was a CMOS device, and you could run it on a 9-volt battery. I mean, its operating voltage was 5 to 15 volts. Now, it, of course, had no internal ROM or RAM, and it was certainly not a flash device, but you see my nice 1977 2KE PROM here. This was just a single board computer. It's missing the I/O port chips. These were 1852s, which was just kind of an 8-bit latch. But and you see my awesome mistakes where I have to bend pins out of sockets to wire stuff. The bottom of the board. Other awesome things. You can tell it's my first circuit board. Here I have 2 jumpers over a single trace instead of 1 jumper over 2 traces. It's 3 voltages for power supply. This down here is a tone dialer. So I programmed this, and you can see the Radio Shack part number on this giant relay. And here's the line transformer for connecting to your phone line. But this board, once programmed, emulated enough of a Hayes smart modem that you could type in the phone number and you were online. You didn't have to go manually flip switches and do everything else. I've not been brave enough to plug chips back in here and see if it works, but it should work.
Okay.
I just like that you kept this too.
Well, it was in a box. I'm like, hey, there's my old modem. I'll show that to him.
That's great.
Thank you.
If you remember, I have a couple upcoming posts from some previous projects you have. If you can send that one along too, because we're getting asked by a bunch of reporters about Radio Shack, and they're like, well, what did it mean to you? If you could send that, we could put up a post and we could say, here's someone who made their own modem twice using stuff from Radio Shack.
I sent, you may not have had a chance to read it yet, but I sent you a story from a friend of mine who worked for Tandy from 1977 to 1987.
Yeah.
And his first solo design project was the TRS-80 Modem 1, the Direct Connect modem, and then there's a few stories behind it about how Tandy operated back then, and how he managed to get the design to market. So, I should get him on here because he's got more stories.
Get him on here. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm in a Redbox and made phone calls. I mean,
he works for Microchip now, and I don't know if he can break away because it's 4:30 out there, but I don't know if he can.
You can always send a blog post or something.
Okay, thank you
so much. That was a fantastic journey into Radio Shack history. That was beautiful. Hey, Tony, why don't you save these books for next week?
Hey, yeah, so I was just going to show, I actually just got these at a closing Radio Shack, so it's bittersweet. These are the classic Forrest Mims, and then a T-shirt here with logo. So
I'll show you the classic Forrest Mims.
All right.
Come back next week. Next week is Forrest Mims week.
We'll do more Radio Shack memorabilia next week.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. That was fantastic. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Norman, Pedro. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. 74.
Thank you, C. Scott. Thank you, Avishay. Thank you, Adian. We'll see everybody next week. Show and Tell is 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every single week we show all the amazing things people have made, all the way back maybe decades now.
It'll be 50 years.
Yeah. All right. We'll see everybody on Ask an Engineer in a couple minutes. Bye-bye.